Is it on, Severn? Yep. Do we have the thumbnail? Are people gonna click? What's cracking, guys? Omar Ishoff here. Down another 5 pounds. There's gonna be another Physiques of Laziness update in a little bit, but we're trying to stay rock hard in a funky place. Gonna give you guys some fat loss tips from your favorite fitness influencer using the bench press as an example, because everybody loves International Chest Day. That was not a slur of my speech. That was a stroke I just suffered from being low carb. And what I want to advocate for today would be the lower rep ranges being kind of magical when it comes to fat loss. You're going to notice I do triples today. You're also going to notice for my all-time best triple, 335, it's a far cry. But that is because right now, as of this morning, I am 13 pounds down in 6 weeks of cutting. That's a good chunk of weight. And when you lose weight that rapidly, you're just fighting to try and hold on to the strength that you have. And that's okay. Remember, I said, I find it helpful as long as you have a healthy body image. When you're losing weight, to focus on how you look, and then in a secondary manner, focus on the numbers you're hitting, because they're gonna go down, right? If you're a beginner or intermediate, you can actually increase your strength as you lose weight. But once you've been training for a while, it's all downhill when you start to lose weight. But that's why triples are so important, because there's a finite amount of energy. One of the biggest differences between losing weight or being in a caloric surplus is that you have a finite amount of energy when you're lifting. You can't do 25 sets. You need to keep volume above a certain threshold to hold on to what you got, volume being one of the key drivers, both for hypertrophy, but also maintaining muscle mass as you lose weight. But you can't exceed a certain threshold, because then your body just starts to break down, you're too fatigued, each workout session isn't as productive, you're hitting walls. What you want to do is focus on speed, so that's why I switched to triples on this week. And you want to work up to weight that is challenging. You see I work up to 305 at an RPE 9, but not impossible, and you want to try and maintain that. So I do 6 sets of 3, which is a good way of getting more volume as opposed to a 4x3 or a 5x3. I did 18 total reps, but then I go down in weight and I go up in repetitions. I did 4 compound movements, so instead of doing 5 compound movements when I'm in a caloric surplus, so I did the bench press, I did the pin press, I did the overhead press, and then I did the low incline dumbbell press. So 4 compound movements as opposed to 5. I try to keep the intensity a little bit higher, making sure I don't exceed a certain threshold. So again, fatigue accumulates week to week. You want to feel fresh, and because you're in that caloric deficit, you already kind of feel like shit, to be honest, and that's just one of the givens. But you have to push through that, and that is why today you will notice, you will see, we have 1 bicep vein, we have 2 biceps. It's getting scary now, guys. It's actually getting scary. And that's why, depending upon what you're doing, should determine what you focus on. When you're in a lean mass phase, you might notice, oh, like, yeah, my deltoid, okay, it's coming in a little bit, and that's cool. But inevitably, you'll get softer, and if you're attached to being lean, that becomes harder to deal with. So maybe you should focus objectively on those numbers. And then the inverse is true when it comes to weight loss, where now it's okay if I'm benching 305 for a triple right now. Guess what? In 3 months, we're gonna be right back at it like nothing changed. And I think it's important, that's why I want to show in particular today that Instagram influencers, YouTubers, they're not always at the peak, meaning that I hit 375 a few months ago, and when I started this cut, I was good for 375, 365, something like that. I'm gonna test at the end when I get down to about 180 pounds. I'd be down 18 pounds. My 1 rep max after that, I'll probably be 345 at that time. I think it's important to show the process, because too many people get caught up on the short term rather than playing that long term. So short term, they're like, man, I feel deflated, I feel flat. Actually start to look worse when you cut, and that is likely if you're a higher body fat percentage. You just feel smaller and kind of fatter, and you're holding on to water, right? All this shit that starts to happen, rather than it's like, you know what, I'm gonna survive through this, I'm gonna thrive actually in this situation. In 8 weeks I'll look better. What's gonna happen? Okay, I'll be a little bit weaker in a temporary sense, but long term, it won't affect my strength progress. So we need to stop thinking short term, and we need to start thinking long term. So come with me, okay? Witness me. as they say in Mad Max Fury Road, great movie, and watch as I get to 15% body fat. It's gonna be heroic. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this made a good case why I personally like triples when you're losing weight. It's not as taxing when you're managing overall volume. It still allows you to train that strength quality by hitting a higher intensity, but also keeping total volume slightly lower, once again, to manage that fatigue. Thank you so much. If you liked the video, like the damn video, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next one. Peace.
Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking vegetables.